On Thai PBS World tonight, a Christmas present for labor workers as minimum wage will increase to maximum 400 baht since the first day of 2025. Central Bank's chairman-elect has been disqualified due to the close connection to the previous prime minister. Thailand is aiming to attract 40 million tourists next year, but is it possible under the shadow of economic slowdown and other competitors in the market? Hello, you're watching Thai PBS World tonight. I'm Frank Kanshi.
And I'm Nat Bunna.
And I finally come back at this very impeccable timing of festive season.
Yes, and it's Christmas Eve today, so I'm pretty sure that you are all enjoying this festive season. And on this day, people would be celebrating with their loved ones, having festive dinners, and opening presents as well. But for Thai people, especially among labor workers, they got a surprise yesterday because they actually got a new daily minimum wage.
Yes, but actually not every labor worker in provinces, they got 400 minimum wage there. There's still some differences according to the wage committee's decision yesterday. So the tripartite wage committee agreed yesterday to increase the country's minimum wage with the highest minimum rate of pay being 400 baht per day, effective January 1st, the first day of 2025. And of course, you can see on the screen right now, the wage increase ranges from 7 to 55 baht per day there. Only workers in Phuket, Chachoengsao, Chonburi, and Koh Samui district of Surat Thani will receive the maximum rate of 400 baht. The rate in Mueang district of Chiang Mai and Hat Yai district of Songkhla will be increased to 380 baht, while the rate in Bangkok and 6 surrounding provinces will be adjusted to 372 baht. For the remaining 67 provinces, there are 17 wage rates representing an average increase of 2% from the current rates to be decided by the wage committees in each province based on the cost of living, social conditions, and the abilities of the employers to cope with the wage rise. The Wage Committee has entrusted the subcommittees in each province to recommend a suitable minimum wage for their province, and their feedback was taken into account. So, of course, this is a very surprise present for those labor workers in 77 provinces, but we still see some differences between.
Yes, there are major differences because those who receive the 400 baht daily minimum wage would only be in Phuket, Chachoengsao, Chonburi, Rayong, and also Koh Samui of Surat Thani, whilst in Bangkok and nearby provinces such as Nakhon Pathom, Nonthaburi, Pathum Thani, Samut Prakan, and Samut Sakhon, they will get 372 baht. So you can see that there is like a different range for each of the provinces, and for down south, such as the deep south, for example, Narathiwat, Pattani, and Yala, they would only get 337 baht. So the daily minimum wage increase would actually depend on the local economic situation there as well.
So it's understandable, of course, because in Phuket, in Koh Samui, that's the touristic attraction there. So of course, for example, Koh Samui, sometimes, of course, they have to get imported products from the mainland, from Thailand. And for Phuket, of course, the living cost is really high there. For Chachoengsao there, of course, it's the main hub of, I think it's port. Port industrial zone there, so it's high, but of course in Trang, in southern part, in deep south, it's not at the same level.
Yep, so you can see that the daily minimum wage for the other provinces are not the same. So good news for those working in Phuket and Koh Samui and these provinces who will be getting 400 baht daily minimum wage. That is definitely good news, but it can be quite a burden for the business owners because they have to pay more.
It links to the political side too, because of course, Thai government, they during the election, they said that they want to push the minimum wage to 400 baht. Right now, it's partial achievement there.
Yeah.
How about other provinces? Because for 400 baht minimum wage there, we only see maybe 5 to 6 zones there. How about other provinces? We still need to wait and see how Thai government or Paetongtarn's administration can push every province affording 400 baht there.
Right, and you just mentioned the Pheu Thai ruling government. So now let's turn to the Bank of Thailand. We previously reported that Kittiratt Na-Ranong has been chosen to become the new chairman of the board, but this has ended with a new plot twist because the Council of State has ruled today that Kittiratt Na-Ranong is not qualified to be appointed as chairman of the board of the Bank of Thailand because he used to be an advisor to former Prime Minister Sethar Thavisin, which is a political position even though he did not receive a salary for the role. Finance Minister Pichai Chunhawashira said today that the ministry will find a new candidate. He also said that in the meantime, the former chairman, Paramethi Wipmonsiri, whose term expired in September, will continue to function as the acting chairman. Kittiratt was chosen by a selection committee chaired by Sathit Limpongpan, a former permanent secretary of finance. When asked by reporters about Kittiratt's disqualification by the Council of State, Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra said without elaboration that the matter has to follow procedure. Many academics and former central bank staff, including 4 former governors, had voiced their strong objection to Kittiratt's nomination, pointing out that his close connection with the Pheu Thai party could jeopardize the central bank's independence. So I think the Council of State has kind of listened to the feedback that appointing someone with very close ties with the ruling government can actually affect the central bank's independence.
This is the political repercussion there, of course, because we've seen so many political figures involving in central bank, and at the end, the country's financial system collapsed immediately. Notably, we can see, of course, decades ago in Central South America, of course Argentina, that their currency decreased so fast because the political intervention there. So this time, of course, the Council of State, they concerned about this close connection with Pheu Thai party there. So that's why Kittiratt is out now. But of course, we are waiting for the next chairman, next candidate from, I wouldn't say Pheu Thai party, but we would say how that the next candidate would come out on the surface. We will see the connection with the political sphere there too, because that would be so dangerous if that candidate really has connection with Pheu Thai party.
And of course, if someone is really close to the ruling government, it is going to affect the bank's independence. And many of the former governors of the central bank has already voiced their concerns that if there is someone closely connected with the government, it's going to affect all the policies, especially with the monetary policies. And you may have been aware that the government and the central bank are at odds with each other, especially with the cutting of interest rates.
Yes, so monetary policy, financial stability of the country, because Bank of Thailand, of course, is the independent organization to decide all this monetary policy, which will affect private bank, which will affect the interest rate there. This is pretty significant.
Exactly. Moving from the economy, now let's talk about business. If you're thinking of doing business here in Thailand, you may want to check which one is the rising business and which one is in decline at the moment, because the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce's Center for Economic and Business Forecasting announced its annual rankings of 10 rising and declining businesses. So let's have a look at the top 10 rising businesses for the year 2025. These include beauty, medical and wellness, as well as cloud service and cybersecurity. So these are the sectors that are considered the top rising business for 2025. Coming second is social media and online entertainment. That also includes content creators, YouTubers, and influencers. So 2025 will be another great year for those online influencers and YouTubers and those involved in content creation online. Coming third is e-commerce, online media, films and series, and also advertising. Another rising business for 2025 are concerts, exhibitions, events, and even alcoholic drinks. Coming at number 5 is health and life insurance. Other businesses include online platform-based services such as hiring a housekeeper for a day and including karaoke bars and pubs. And there are also other services as well, such as EV vehicles, EV charging stations, and these are becoming much more popular. Fintech services, financial services are also rising businesses as well, and also food and beverages, clean energy, and even logistics as well. So the surge of medical business is attributed to the government's visa-free policy, which has expanded the medical tourism market. This has eventually attracted more and more foreign tourists who are seeking health services here in Thailand. And the country's policy to elevate Thailand as a regional medical hub also bolstered this growth. Cloud services are also set to grow for 2025 as well due to the increasing online transactions, the use of AI and IoT or the Internet of Things, while e-commerce and online entertainment are also growing as people favor online shopping and consuming digital content. As for the 10 declining businesses for 2025 are mostly traditional businesses such as CD or DVD rent businesses, print media that has no digital platforms at all, storage manufacturing such as thumb drives or hard drives are also declining as well, newspaper delivery services, textiles, traditional wooden furnitures are also considered declining businesses for 2025. So you can see that these traditional businesses are on decline because nowadays everyone is all about the digital economy, everything is all about online media nowadays, and everything is already digitalized. So it is a lot easier. So there's no need to rely on these businesses anymore.
I was quite frightened when you point out media there because we are working in the media industry. But I'm also relieved that, of course, TV still here. We still we have digital media platform too. We have our website for very deep analysis article there. So actually, we are not dying. But for those which industry would decline very fast, like print media, textile, paper production, because of course people right now, no matter you read books or read papers, news articles, you might just read online. But for those actually, which stand out to me is wellness, because I was in Malaysia last week and I talked to some Malaysia business people, business leaders. They really interested in investing in Thailand about wellness center because they know that Thailand has a very open culture and also a very renowned for wellness technology, wellness center too.
Apart from wellness centers, they are also really good at spas and also have Thai herbs that are quite unique compared to other countries as well. So that has attracted a lot of foreign tourists into the country because they are pretty fascinated by these wellness centers, and the health services there are high quality but at affordable prices for these people.
And we talk about tourism here, of course. Tourism is one of the strongest weapons there, I would say that, soft power that Thailand has. And of course, the government has announced its strategy to attract more than 40 million tourists in 2025 under the theme of Amazing Thailand Grand Tourism and Sports Year 2025. But Thailand will also face a major competitors in the market. Tourism Minister Sorawong Tiantong has revealed the target to generate tourism revenue in 2025 with 2.8 trillion baht, growing 7.5% from the revenue base in 2024. Before the pandemic, the tourism revenue was capped at more than 3 trillion baht. Economic slowdown and the major competitor in Asia, such as Japan, have affected the number of tourists visiting Thailand. One of the reasons is that the Japanese yen has descended to a one-year low, so travelers get benefits to spend in the country. While the Tourism Authority of Thailand has set the target of 39 million tourists next year, the Tourism Ministry aims to push for 40 million tourists. Tourism revenue in 2024 is projected to reach 2.6 trillion baht, with 1.7 trillion baht from over 35 million foreign tourists. Notable markets including US, Taiwan, and India have surpassed 1 million tourists, with India recently hitting 2 million. Domestic tourism is expected to generate 900 billion baht from 198 million Thai travelers. With competitors in the international market, Thailand needs to implement initiatives to attract travelers. Number of tourists to Japan has broken the record, according to the Japan National Tourism Organization. 33 million foreign tourists visit Japan in the first 11 months, breaking the record for 2019. The Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Thailand reported that from the statistics of foreign tourists traveling to Thailand during the first 11 months of this year, which is lower than Japan. There were a total of just over 31 million people. So the top 10 markets with the highest number of tourists traveling to Thailand are China, over 6 million, Malaysia, India, South Korea, Russia, Laos, Taiwan, Japan, Vietnam, and also United States. So it's a very high bar there, 40 million tourists, because before the pandemic, I think Thailand has just welcomed more than 30 million tourists now. So 40 million in 2025 is a positive figure.
That is a very positive figure indeed. And looking at the statistics just now, you can see that more and more Chinese tourists are coming into Thailand. And the Tourism Authority of Thailand has been trying to attract more Chinese tourists into the country as well, with a lot of marketing strategies to attract them into Thailand with the services and the tourist attractions. So this is definitely good news.
Yeah, and visa-free policy there, not just to China, into other countries too. So of course we can see more tourists to come, but 40 million tourists there, the number is quite high. So maybe Amazing Thailand could help a lot, because of course I saw some drone performances just in Wat Arun, like last week before the Christmas. So one of the attracting visiting place to go for tourists to see all those high technology performances there.
High technology performances, and also traditional temples and venues as well, because places like Wat Arun, for example, it has continued to attract foreign tourists, especially Asian tourists, into Thailand. And you know, we've been there with the businesses, the renting of Thai traditional costumes as well has also attracted and got them more involved and into the culture, into the vibes of Thailand as well. And from air travel, we'll end the program on road safety. Thailand has imposed a new speed limit in Bangkok, especially roads near the Grand Palace. So a new speed limit of 50 kilometers per hour has come into force on 10 roads close to the Grand Palace. And at the same time, a 60 kilometers per hour limit is now enforced on most other roads across Bangkok. So the Metropolitan Police explained that the new traffic regulation is necessary to reduce road accidents in densely populated areas and areas around government offices as well. So the 10 roads where the 50 kilometers per hour speed limit is imposed are these roads, namely ราชดำเนินใน หน้าพระธาตุ พระจันทร์ หน้าพระลาน สนามชัย กัลยาณไมตรี ท้ายวัง มหาราช ราชินี and เศรษฐการ roads. And these are the 10 roads where the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour, and all the other roads across Bangkok will be 60 kilometers per hour. However, there are 13 roads which remain exempt from both the speed limits, and they are Vipavadi Rangsit, บางนาตราด ศรีนครินทร์ พหลโยธิน รามอินทรา ราชพฤกษ์ บรมราชชนนี กาฬปะพฤกษ์ ร่มเกล้า สุวินทวงศ์ แจ้งวัฒนะ พระราม 3 and Sri Nakarin Romgao roads. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Transport has ordered the suspension of all road construction work throughout the country from December 26th to January 2nd, so simply during the New Year break. And this is to facilitate traffic flow during the New Year peak travel period. Transport Minister Surya Chungrungrungkit said today that as more interprovincial travel is expected during the holidays, he has also instructed the Highways Department to repair potholes, prune tree branches, and check lighting systems to ensure safety and convenience for motorists. And especially on Rama 2 Road, which is the main artery to the south, he said that the construction work will be suspended from December 26th, as he also advised motorists to study their planned route before traveling. So anyone traveling to other provinces, especially through Rama 2 Road, this is good news, but you still need to plan ahead. You cannot just be too complacent.
And be careful too, because we have seen so many accidents at
Yeah.
Rama 2 Road this year. And this is a great decision from the Transport Ministry to suspend the construction on the road there. And of course, personally, sometimes I drive around in the city,
Yeah.
around Grand Palace. And I think, personally, I think 50 kilometers per hour would be still high. I think it's better to descend to 40, because that area, we have see so many foreign tourists walking around and taking photos there. So, of course, better to lower your how you drive and behave. Drive carefully.
Drive responsibility and don't speed.
Yes.
Simply.
And another reason we have to talk about this, because festive season, of course, begins. And I think this is one of the, we always talk about this sentence there before we end this program, before the end of this year, as don't drink and drive.
Yes, we mentioned yesterday that the police has came up with a campaign, Don't Drink and Drive, to remind motorists and drivers not to drink too much alcohol before driving. But simply, it's better not to drink alcohol at all.
Yeah, of course.
But regardless, road accidents still occur here and there, regardless of the campaigns or the 7 Dangerous Days campaign, because it's all about the mindset of the drivers. They always have to be aware of the traffic laws and road safety, because the loss of life is something that no one wants to see. So you just have to be very careful and be mindful.
And it could cause tragedy to every family too. So, of course, if you drink, don't drive your car, and wear helmet when you ride motorbike.
Exactly. And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. We won't be seeing you next week because it's the New Year holidays, but we'll be seeing you next year instead. So we'll be seeing you again on January 6th and 7th instead. And by the meantime, you can follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching and happy holidays. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ Happy Holidays